when darkness falls across the UK, a legion of officers patrol our streets.
Help me now! Come on in! Come on in! Push off the taser! Get back!
With exclusive access to the night shift at Gloucestershire Constabulary.
Stop.
Listen to me and walk away.
This series reveals the relentless and uphill fight against nighttime crime.
Push it down, else you're getting sprayed.
Get on the floor!
Don't mess about.
We experience things on a night shift that the normal person wouldn't see in the rest of their lives.
Stay where you are. Any sudden movements, he'll bite you.
There's 10 people outside throwing bricks at your house, yeah?
She's got centimetre puncture wounds to her collarbone.
You can never predict what's going to happen on a night shift. It's just a different world at night.
And at night, there's more drugs.
It's got past there on him. Explains the behaviour.
He says that you're taking tablets.
More drink.
At this moment in time, you're under arrest for drunk and disorderly, all right? You need to walk away. Don't worry.
And more violence.
I swear to God, I will kill someone!
Being a police officer is definitely becoming more dangerous.
These fearless officers
Get your leg in the van!
guard our streets when you sleep.
Keep yourself safe, OK? Get to a room with a lock on it.
Stop now!
Under the cover of darkness, people change.
It is scary.
On the outskirts of Gloucester, police dog handler PC Cole is waiting for his next job.
Driving around Gloucestershire on my own at night, it's actually quite peaceful. You know, I quite enjoy it. I'm alone with my thoughts, but it also gives me just time to think about things a little bit more, as opposed to having someone nattering in my ear or having to explain to people, you know, what's going to happen. And I don't have to worry about anyone else. I can just worry about myself.
Reports of some people trying to get into a car garage in Gloucester on one of the main roads.
A call comes in about a break-in at a garage.
So I think half the specialist ops are going to it. One of the other dog handlers is already on his way.
When a job comes in, your adrenaline starts to get pumping through your system and you do get excited about it. 9 times out of 10, anything that's reported is always going to be different by the time you get there, so you've got to be adaptable, you've got to be able to think on your feet. You know, you join the police because you want to chase people, you want to catch people doing things wrong.
Yeah, on mobile station to the garage then, 5 approach, please.
Let's go down 5-1. You get someone to go from the Longford Lane end as well. Go to the end of the footpath that comes out by the road bridge, please.
What goes through my head when I hear a job on the radio about burglary in progress is, what am I going to be met with when I get there? How quickly can I get there? And ultimately, I want to catch whoever's responsible.
Let's go down 5-1, just go to State 6, the garage now.
If someone's going to be there, are they going to be in possession of items they may have stolen? Are they going to have access to any weapons? Are they going to be wanting to fight? Are they going to be wanting to run?
Down 5-1, what was the call about, sorry? I'm out the rear door, there's no signs of any forced entry or any attempts.
I would never say that I feel scared. You want to catch a burglar coming out of a window with all the stolen loot, with a swag bag, you know, the stereotypical image of a burglar. You don't really tend to stop and think, oh, do you know what, I don't want to go because I'm really scared. You go, you just deal with it.
All the doors are secure. There's no obvious marks, entry marks or points. Unless they were talking about that petrol station.
With no sign of a break-in, PC Cole goes over to the petrol station next door.
Hey mate, I was wondering you had to ring it in.
All right, okay, what happened then?
I would like to think that I've got a generally good idea of what's right and what's wrong.
2 males running along the back here, up to our door, and they had a blue tray in hand, which he's told me has been dumped here.
Let's go down 5-1. I've gone through to the garage.
Policeman's intuition, the gut instinct, the policeman's nose, whatever you want to call it, where you just know when something doesn't seem right.
Apparently, they've dumped a blue, like a bread tray that's got a lump hammer and some bin bags in it. What they've been using that for, I don't know. get it out of the way. Okay, this chap's going to check the CCTV, and once they've got the CCTV, they'll give us a call and let us know.
As he's waiting for the CCTV of the suspect, a man walks into a neighbouring field carrying a dustbin.
Since being in the police, and the more experienced or the longer I've been in the police, you start to look at people in a slightly different light. And whereas, say, one of my friends or my wife would look at someone and go, oh, look at that person over there, they're just doing this. I look at them and think, well, why is he doing that? What's he done that for? Why is he walking in that manner? Is he walking with a slight limp? Is he carrying something? Is he hiding something? So I probably tend to overthink a situation or overthink an incident. And running across the garage forecourt carrying a bucket at 2 o'clock in the morning, that's not right. You know, you just think, well, hang on, I need to know what's going on there.
What are you doing, mate? What are you doing?
And so, yeah, you just get on and deal with it. You don't think about it, you just think, that's not right, just deal with it.
Well, simple question, they're just asking you what you're doing.
You can't deactivate the inner copper inside you.
Just going for a walk? Yeah. What, with a bin?
In Cheltenham,
Not too bad.
Terrible, mate. Suddenly got horrible.
reports are coming in about a knife fight near a block of flats.
When we get a call when someone has a knife, the first thing that goes through your head is where's the offender and where's the victim? The offender could still be outstanding and he could potentially be fighting someone else with this knife, and the victim could be seriously injured on the floor somewhere.
There's a single crewed officer going, so we'll go and help him out.
When you're going into dangerous situations, you know, you do think about your children and your family, but also your colleagues as well. You want to make sure that you're safe, but also they're safe.
Shit.
What?
Look at this.
What?
So much blood.
Blood?
So much. It's all over the door.
It's James, there's blood everywhere.
It's a scary thing seeing that much blood. When you see blood like that, you assume that someone's bleeding out and you need to do something quickly.
Alpha Hotel 2-3.
With no victim to be seen, officers speak to the control room.
Echo Hotel 2-5, good.
Yeah, we're outside the main bit. There's loads of blood on the floor and on the door.
Yeah, that's noted. If you just hang fire, we're getting everything.
Yeah, that's noted. We're trying to get in now, but we're getting no answer. There's a trail of blood.
Alpha Hotel 2-3. Just to make you aware, there's quite a lot of blood on the front of the block of flats. We can't actually get into the block at the moment, but we can see the blood going in through the hallway and up the stairs. So we're going to have to force entry on the first.
When you can see blood all over the floor and potentially inside the block of flats, that does make your decision a little bit easier.
We can see the blood in the hallway. Yeah, it goes round towards the stairs. So get in, we can see where it's come from.
You need to get in there because you need to see what's happening behind those doors.
We get a crowbar. Someone's bleeding, aren't they?
Ultimately, you need to try and save life, and potentially someone may be dying behind that door, you don't know.
Excuse me?
We're in.
Officers follow the blood trail upstairs.
Bravo 2-1, appreciate that, thank you. Details are just coming in for the call.
Fucking hell.
Hotel 3-3, yeah, if you could, that'd be great.
That's what makes you think it could be going down. Looks like it's happened there, so it's sprayed on the wall.
Something's happened.
And then they've run out, haven't they?
Just start knocking on the doors from here.
Yeah.
Did you see anyone? No, it's been quite serious. I know, but someone's been hurt.
With so much blood, police fear someone could be seriously injured.
Just wondered if you've seen anything now. Okay, all right.
But none of the residents will talk to them.
You want to do the best job you can for victims and the public, and when people don't want to speak to us, it makes that job so much harder.
What you got on your finger there?
Mate, there.
That's blood, Dave.
Yeah, mate, there.
What have you been doing out there?
See what it was.
So you've touched something and you've got blood on
Yeah,
your
it was
hands.
on my door.
Right, come out and
Hang on, it was on my door.
There's no blood on your door at the minute.
There was.
Where?
Wait till all that, mate.
And you got blood on your finger here.
Yeah, I know.
About there,
You
Hang
got
on,
blood.
get my towel. That ain't the thing. Do you know what I mean? I was cleaning him up. I don't know who he was. I swear to God, I do not know who he was. I was cleaning him up.
Who was he?
Somebody called. Nobody.
I'll go and have a look inside. Get out of the way, mate. Get out of the way.
Believing the victim is inside, officers force themselves in.
Don't punch me. Don't obstruct me then.
When people hide information from us and we know that they know what's gone on, it's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Do you know who you're fighting with or not?
If I had a fight, I wouldn't tell you anyway.
It's fine. You don't have to.
I wouldn't tell you fuck all.
That's fine.
Definitely human. That's quite a fight.
Sometimes it would be a lot easier if you had a power to force someone to tell you what's happened, but unfortunately we just don't, and people don't. They don't have to speak to us if they don't want to.
Because you're covered in blood.
Yeah.
All right, there's blood all outside.
Yeah.
There's been mention of a knife.
Yeah.
All right. So just while we investigate it, I'm holding you.
In a bedroom, officers discover another man.
Let's have a look at your hand. It's cut to pieces.
What's in the bin?
In Gloucester, PC Cole is pursuing a burglary suspect.
Personal safety, for me, is probably an afterthought. I'm not saying that I'm going to be a sacrificial lamb, but in the same breath, I will go in and deal with as much as I physically can until the point that I cannot do it. Oh, you've got to stop there, mate. I'll tell you that for free. What's in the bin? Police! Get down on the fucking floor, then. Get down on the floor and stay down on the floor. I will generally back my own chances against most people. I can usually use my own size to overpower somebody. What is in that bin? What is in that bin? There's a bat in that bin. Right, put your hand behind Put your hand behind your back. Put your other hand behind your back, now. No, I'm not, mate. Everything's on camera. I've told you everything's on camera.
Without backup, PC Cole restrains the man on the floor.
Hey, mate, you stay there. Huh? You stay there.
And a second suspect approaches.
Stay there, do not move. Got another one here, blue puffer jacket, baseball cap. He's just going towards the car wash. Sometimes there are instances where there is potential for an incident to get out of hand. Whilst I may have one person detained on the floor, handcuffs, who I'm responsible for, I've still got another hand that can utilise a taser or irritant spray and defend myself. I've obviously got one detained on the floor. He's come running through the car park as I've been speaking to the petrol station attendant. I've got him detained at the moment. It's the other one who's now going around the back. He's not stopped for me, he's just gone, he's going towards the back of the cars. Mate, as I said, at the moment, you're nicked on suspicion of burglary, right? It's necessary to arrest you to assist the prompt and effective investigation of the offence. Onto your side so you can breathe, pal. All right, onto your side.
That's my broken rib.
Okay, onto this side then.
I mean, sorry, you're literate or something. You don't get from wrong.
And what happens if I am? When you've got somebody detained and you need help, what is actually 20 seconds, 10 seconds, seems like an eternity.
After several minutes on his own, backup arrives.
Yeah. So he's literally, I don't know what's in that bucket, but when I've challenged him and asked him to stay where he is, he's trying to get away, so he's been detained. At the moment, I've locked him up on suspicion of burglary until obviously we can get to what's gone on. And there is no better feeling than hearing somebody going, "Where are you?" And you're like, "Oh, thank God, it's not just me anymore." Well, we'll bring you onto your knees, all right? Onto your knees. Now stand up, stand up, stand up. There you go, well done, mate. Well done, mate. Right, we're going to go over there to the cars, all right? I've obviously got to look after myself. I've got to look after the bloke that's on the floor. But then his mate appears out of the bushes and he starts coming towards us. But I was powerless to stop him going away because I had to stay with his mate. I haven't searched him. He is handcuffed, double locked.
You got anything on you that's going to harm my colleague?
I don't think so. I've got a roller from you.
Oh, you got a roller?
Yeah.
All right.
You can get him out of there then, boys. Thanks, well done. As we've been approaching him, All I've seen is that. I've obviously been concerned that this could be a bat or anything, which is why he was swiftly taken to the floor. Turns out that that's a big lump sledgehammer.
A sledgehammer could be classed as quite a scary item. You've got to think, would that person use that on me?
If he'd have got to the sledgehammer and then come towards me, I'd have just have to leave his mate on the floor. He's handcuffed, so he's secure, and have to deal with him as well. But as it was, he bottled it and ran off.
I don't tend to stop and think at the end of an incident. That could have been a lot worse, because if I did that, I probably would never leave my house.
And then inside, that's all the stuff.
PC Cole makes a lucky discovery. The bin contains medical supplies stolen from a chemist in a separate burglary.
And matey boy that we just locked up, and the other mate that was here are the people responsible. Yeah, happy as Larry.
When you catch somebody with a load of stolen goods,
I'll take it.
It's probably, you could describe it as like hitting the jackpot, and you're just like, I can't believe it. I've done it. We've got them.
Oscar out 5-1. Is the other person still in the forecourt of the car?
By the main road, officers have detained the suspect accomplice by a vehicle.
Yeah, so in the back of there, we've got medical type products. All the more kind of stuff that you'd find in, probably taken from the pharmacy, I would have thought again.
Burglars smashed into the nearby pharmacy a few hours ago.
Spookily enough, whilst we've come here for this job, the place next door has been burgled, and then the offender has literally just fallen into our lap when we've been dealing with this job. You couldn't write it. Obviously, the chap who I detained alongside the sledgehammer was a quantity of prescribed medication that had been stolen from the scene.
I don't think necessarily that police officers are braver than any ordinary member of the public. At the end of the day, it's just ingrained in you that you run towards things when others might run away.
Oh.
It's 5 hours into the night shift.
Hello, police emergency? OK, where are you ringing from?
And Gloucestershire Force control room is getting busy.
Oh, here we go. QR to Charlie 2950. Yeah, no worries. I'm just trying to see if you're free for a job, grade 2.
Urgent 999 calls are starting to stack up.
We've got a possible break in progress. Caller's heard some bangs. Her electric gate's been forced open. Caller can't see the offenders but doesn't want to go outside. She's locked herself in the property.
People on their bikes with fireworks. That's fine. Have they hit anyone? Someone's on the floor.
OK, so he's threatening to hang himself and take a load of tablets.
We'll get someone out to you now, obviously. Try and keep things calm and we'll be there as soon as we can.
In Cheltenham,
How have you done that? So I fell over, I was drunk, I was just been asleep.
officers are dealing with a suspected assault that has left a man heavily bleeding.
You need to get that looked at, don't you?
I'm not getting looked at by you lot.
Mate, don't do that, you're just shaking blood all over me.
I feel right. I fell over drunk, took too many drugs and tablets.
A lot of people want to deal with things themselves. They don't want to get police involved because they don't want to be a snitch.
They're waiting for someone to say they've been fucked up, basically. You're waiting for someone to come through and say...
No, mate, my primary concern at the moment is for your hand, because you're clearly the one that's been bleeding.
You want to help people when no one's talking to you. You definitely do feel kind of powerless. People not talking to you or engaging with you can just make that so much harder.
I get an ambulance. I'll have a shower and that, and I'll see us, all right?
Yeah.
How's it going?
He's got quite severe injuries to his hand, consistent with the amount of blood we've seen outside and up the stairs to the top of the stairs so far.
Due to the severity of the incident, officers are working with Gloucestershire CID.
He's saying he's fell over, nothing's happened.
That's an unlikely injury falling over, I'd imagine, but there we go.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then he's dropped in, oh, it was just self-defence, I was just defending myself. So something has happened. We've got no other parties at the moment.
Oh, yeah, is he going to hospital or anything like that?
He said, I'll go and get cleaned up and then I'll go to hospital myself.
Listen, you've been fine with us. We'll just find out what's gone on and then we'll get it sorted.
Wrong. We're criminals, you know we are. We're not going to go, oh, he's fucking done this, she done that, he done this. Are we? Come on. Can't think about it much.
There are definitely people that we deal with, kind of the career criminals, who will never speak to the police. They don't want to know, they don't want our help, they don't want to talk to us. That's their kind of way of life, that's how they regard the police.
I'm just wondering if we're going to be concerned about anyone else.
Yeah, no worries. We'll keep holding for the time being then, until you come back with that.
Detectives suspect there could be more injured parties.
CID is just going to do some intel checks and then come back to us.
Yeah, noted, thank you.
It's not getting anywhere, is it?
Oh, mush.
Police have received a tip-off claiming a woman has been hit during the incident outside the block. The informant wasn't able to identify the offender or the victim.
Yeah, if we can't find anything within about the next 10 minutes from house to house, then we'll have to make a decision from the information. I'll speak to you then.
With reports of an injured woman, officers make a further inquiry.
OK, thank you. Oh, cheers. So, she just said, knock as many doors as we can. Do 10 minutes.
I know the
if we can't find anything,
is there a unit there
we'll have to.
break away? Are they all still using that address?
With the men refusing to say what happened, officers will have to release them unless they can find an eyewitness.
Some of the people we deal with are really nasty people, and some people just don't want to get involved. They don't want the stress of kind of perhaps looking over their shoulder, or because of being accused of being a snitch, or the repercussions.
Oh yeah, there's been a bit of a commotion outside the front earlier on. I just wondered if you heard or saw anything.
No, she's not. She's the man on knowledge, so she has been.
No worries, mate. Thank you.
But, you know, there's things we can put in place to help people with that. But it's very frustrating. Trying to do the job when people don't want to speak to you.
At a block of flats in Cheltenham.
At the moment, we've got no victim, we've got no witnesses, just quite a bit of blood.
Officers have met a wall of silence as they try to get to the bottom of a suspected assault that left a man bleeding heavily.
Hi, mate. Any update?
No, we've done house to house, no one's seen nothing, so I'd be keen to hear back on the welfare check, and then when that's done, I think, and there's no other witnesses, I think it's time to pull it, yeah.
With time against them, CID ask for an update on finding a witness.
Right, how are you doing?
Negative. The block opposite, all the lights are off in that block. He's not willing to say anything.
Okay, they've seen the assault on a female, but they don't want to say much. Is that correct?
That's correct, Shane.
Usually when you walk away from a dress that you go to a lot, you know you're going to go back there. They're not always bad people. You know, they make poor decisions, but it's very frustrating not kind of being able to help in some circumstances.
I think the blood has likely come from his hand, but at the moment we've got no witnesses, no CCTV and no victim. But we've got them all detained in the flat at the minute and it's getting a bit heated.
With no leads, CID have spoken again to the person who made the 999 call.
He does not think the woman was assaulted. Apparently she was running around laughing. And I don't know if you agree, but I don't think we can nick anybody.
Yeah, totally agree. Would you mind putting just a summary of what the caller said on the log and I'll update it with what we've got here?
It's frustrating when you walk away from a job and you know something has happened inside, because you know that they'll be laughing about it when we leave and they're taking the mick out of the police and how we don't do anything and how we're rubbish at investigating. Yes. Ultimately, there could have been a victim there, and that's the worst thing. We're walking away and a victim hasn't had justice.
Police emergency? Why do you think he's going to be in danger?
So what happened then? Was your dad actually in the car when it was involved in a crash?
We've had a third-party report that a male's on the floor and someone said that he's possibly been stabbed.
Do you know how they've gained access? Did they have any weapons or anything seen to gain access with?
Police emergency.
Our caller said they were driving past. There's a female on the bridge, seemed to be swaying, not really communicating.
Got a report of a break in progress. 3 young girls have just returned to their home address to find that it's been broken into. The 3 girls are very distressed. Their parents are currently in hospital. They're too scared to go in, so we're unknown if anyone's in the property.
OK, we have got officers going out as an emergency, all right? Can I just take the best contact number for you for us to call you back and we can update you as soon as we get there?
Get him on the floor! Get him on the floor! Get him on the floor! Under arrest, assault police!
Charlie Hotel, Teacher X-ray, are you happy to divert, please, over?
In Gloucester.
Okay.
Dog handler PC Cole is heading to the city centre, where officers are struggling to stop a fight in a takeaway, turning into a large-scale disorder.
Yeah, so somebody's pressed their emergency button. Sounds like a couple of bobbies are in trouble, so get there as quick as we can, safely.
One of the officers has pressed their panic button after allegedly being assaulted.
State Zero makes a god-awful noise on the radio, and it's designed to do that. When you hear that noise, your blood runs cold, the hair stands up on the back of your neck, and you genuinely think, who's in trouble? Where are they? What do they need? Hearing somebody shout, get on the floor, or get off me, or anything would just say, you know, now that's serious, and we need to get there quick.
Oscar Delta 51, just go to state 6, where was that?
You don't know how you're going to react until you're physically there. Most of the time, we're going to be outnumbered. We always are. Yes, there's a crowd. Yes, people are drunk, but they will usually look at you and think, actually, it's the police, and try and help. But that being said, there are occasions when that doesn't happen. Right, dog's getting out. Right, wait.
PC Cole arrives at the scene.
A dog adds a whole new dimension, but it also potentially can act as a deterrent to anybody else. Watch. Because in all reality, who wants to get bitten by a police dog? Watch.
With the disorder subsiding,
Back off, go, move.
PC Cole attempts to disperse the crowd.
Move away! Move away! I told you! You will get bitten! Move away! The mere presence of a police dog barking, most people would have the fear of God struck into them.
Move away! Move away! Don't touch me! Move away! Move.
Look at the fucking move back! Move back! Otherwise you get bitten! Move back now! But then on the other hand, it may have the opposite effect where they fancy themselves, fancy their chances and think, I'll have a go. What's the worst that can happen?
One man refuses to leave the scene.
Take him away!
So an officer is forced to use pava spray.
Just move back. No, I'm not trying to get a dog to bite you. I want you to back off. I just want you to back off. Pavement, mate, pavement. Right, where's that? Come through over there somewhere. To throw items, it's a coward's way out.
Who threw that?
Whilst I appreciate that some people may disagree with the police, there are other ways to deal with it, other than effectively being a 100-yard hero. I don't know which one, someone over here.
Yeah, talk through to Bravo Charlie. One of the lads in front of me in this group here that I'm pointing to has thrown a can of carbonated drink at the dog handler.
Officers speak to colleagues monitoring CCTV to try and identify the culprit.
Can we review it and see if we can identify who it is?
Alpha Hotel 3-1. Can I get a uniform check, please?
In Cheltenham.
So this car here is from Droitwich, which isn't near here.
They don't look too out of place. Like just hairy bikers in a Corsa.
PC Brighton is crewed up with PC Williamson.
My uncle used to be a traffic cop in Westminster, and he was was with a bloke that he'd pulled over and he really hated the police. And he was trying to get his name off him. He said, "Can't you fucking see my name? It's on the side of the van." So my uncle goes to the back of the van and goes, "Ah, Mr. Transit, how are you today?"
Got your good knickers on. Got your good knickers on.
Oh God, my mum's gonna kill me.
In Cheltenham, Sergeant Bailey and PC Marshall are on foot patrol.
On the night shift, I think we all feel a bit more vulnerable. You know, there's not a lot of public about. We're just looking for any trouble brewing. You know, it can be very dark and eerie, and we just don't know what we're going into.
Do we have a walk at there? You doing a link?
The crime changes from the daytime to the nighttime. It's a different sort of crime. Most of it's drunkenness, which leads to all sorts of different crimes.
Is it a grade 1? Yeah, grade 1, yeah. Should we go? We're going to some antisocial behaviour. Apparently there's a group throwing bottles into the road which could potentially damage cars or hurt pedestrians, so we're going to go check it out.
The two officers have received a call about a group of teenagers throwing bottles into the road.
Dealing with unruly juveniles takes up a lot of our time. A lot of them will say to you, "Oh, you know, leave us alone, go and deal with some real crime." But we can't leave them alone. We get a complaint, we've got to deal with them. But that takes us away from more serious stuff. Who's called it in, Georgia?
I think someone who's... The caller can't see if they're still there because it's dark outside.
I sometimes try and explain this to them. Somebody could need our help. Somebody could be, you know, dying somewhere or being attacked somewhere. And they're taking us away from being able to deal with that more serious incident.
I think the caller was stood up there watching, but was too scared to like go and confront them. So at the car park at Charlton Kings by the church, bottles and cans being thrown onto the road.
See any bottles?
No, or I don't see any kids either. Can you hear that? Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Police follow the sound of the group into a park.
Hello, you all right? What are you up to?
Chilling. Chilling,
Just chilling?
chilling.
What are you up to? Are you cold? Freezing. You need to put some jeans on. What you got in there then?
Just some Coke, innit?
Oh, really?
Diet Coke, yeah. How are you? How are you guys?
Yeah.
Are you guys all right?
Yeah.
Why are you guys here?
Oh, we just heard some noise. Right, okay. Be good. Don't upset anyone. Oh, nice.
All right.
You are very beautiful for a police officer.
Oh, they're getting rowdy now we've walked away.
What are you saying, man?
Oh.
Just keep the noise down, all right?
I promise, just for you. You sexy lady.
We get a lot of antisocial behaviour, and dealing with youths, it's a difficult thing to deal with because you're dealing with juveniles.
Oh, God.
Oh, did you speak to anyone in there?
No one identified themselves.
Oh.
Do you want us to get out of here?
Yeah.
We're just encouraging them. Possibly drinking just escalates their behaviour, and they can be so disrespectful to police officers.
Hello?
Can you get away from me, please?
No, I can't. It's not a law, man.
One of the group approaches the officers.
Do you know what I mean? Hello?
Yeah, crack on then, mate.
Hello?
Get the light out of my eyes. I don't think you'll ever master being able to reason with somebody who's drunk. So it's a case of just managing it, really.
You have
Stay
no right to
away.
touch me. You have no right to touch me.
I do.
No, you.
Just
Where's your
step
warrant?
back.
Where's your warrant?
Step back.
Where's, don't touch me, man. What do you mean, or what? Where's your warrant? I've got it on camera, man. Where's your warrant, man?
That's police assault. A lot of juveniles that we get called to because they're acting in an antisocial way can be really rude to us.
That's a police assault. I've been assaulted. You have no right to touch me. You know you
Right,
don't.
just calm down and move away, all right?
I know my
Yeah,
laws.
go away.
I can film you as much as I want.
Yeah, you can film me, it's
I'm
fine.
filming you right now, mate. What's your warrant? What's your warrant?
Unfortunately, one particular juvenile wasn't very cooperative. His behaviour then starts to rub off on the others. What?
Don't drink too much. You've assaulted me. You know
too much. Stop shining that light in my eye.
Oh, God.
And there's only so much you can take. It gets to a point where they're not listening to you, and perhaps they will get arrested. Just move away from the van.
You can't touch me.
Move away from the van, please.
You've assaulted me. You know you've touched me.
Move away. I'll move you away again in a minute.
No, you won't, bro.
Yeah, I will.
No, you...
Officers are dealing with an incident of antisocial behaviour involving a group of teenagers. Some are refusing to leave the area.
You've assaulted me. You've assaulted me. You've assaulted me. You can't touch me. Where's your warrant?
Get away.
Where's your warrant?
To get a criminal record as a teenager, that they don't need that. We don't want to put them into the criminal justice system. What they're doing could spoil the rest of their lives, really.
Let's get out of here. He's a nightmare.
Yeah, he's drunk. He's very drunk, and he's on.
Assaulted me.
Get away from me
no,
now.
I don't have to do anything.
you
assaulted him. What are you doing, Rush?
Get away from me. All right? That's your last warning.
I have the right to film you.
I said get away from me and get away from the van. I need to drive off. Go away.
Drive off then.
Have a nice night.
Thank
See
you.
you later. Have a hug. Just a. Ah. You're very nice. You're very beautiful.
Thank you.
Have a nice
Have a
night,
word with
ladies.
your friend. He's,
Have a nice
he's
night,
drunk
ladies.
and he's.
Yeah, we're all drunk. You assaulted.
Yeah, I know. But...
Assaulted.
Can you just line out the way, please? Yeah. Juveniles and alcohol don't mix. They're just no.
No, I'm not putting the window down.
I've got your face on camera.
Get out of the way.
Jesus. I hope none of them want to do law at uni because they haven't got a clue.
So someone who is a neighbourhood watch coordinator has had a few messages from people in the last hour that there has been piles of white powder along the towpath.
Reports are coming in about an unusual spillage of white powder.
Yeah, the 20 piles of white powder along the towpath, very concerning cases poisonous to animals. Has it been placed deliberately?
PC Perver and PC Parry are heading to the scene.
Night shifts, we do get very weird calls quite a lot. Every radio call is obviously different, but a lot of the time we'll get there and thinking something really crazy is going on. We get there and it's nothing like how it's been first reported.
So we're talking down here, down...
Yeah, down there, and then... So if you just park just this side, then we'll walk down the towpath. I was only means this side. Is that what he means? And here?
Could just be ant powder though, couldn't it?
Is that more of it up there? Is it just literally placed?
I don't know what to make of it, to be fair. It's the first for me.
So, it's very random it's just placed like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
It could just be chalk. We're by a college.
It's be like a weed killer or something, isn't it?
Is it literally just all over here? Just random where it's placed though, isn't it?
The powder appears to form a trail.
Just follow the trail, I guess. It was at the end. OK, that's probably a bit more weird.
What?
That's not quite random, is it?
Do you think it's some sort of signal, like,
It
reference?
could mean something.
Maybe it's a secret message.
Secret message.
Yeah. Well, I don't think it's going to be anything like a drug, is it? Because that's a lot of drugs. You know, drug dealers and that, if they're dropping that amount of what we think is some sort of Class A substance, I think they'd be very worried. And the fact it was everywhere and there was big piles of it, straight away I was like, this isn't drugs. It's just everywhere, isn't it?
I don't know what to make of it, really.
No.
Someone's done, obviously not intentionally, but...
Yeah. I think it's just so much to do with the college and that.
On closer inspection, the mystery powder looks a little more familiar.
No, that's flour. Shall I blow on it? That is flour. That looks like what Ryan's made his cakes with. That is flour.
It's got to be, innit? Well...
This is flour.
Oh, is there another sign, G?
Yeah, that is. Look at the way it like mats together. That's what flour does. I cook a lot. That is flour. I would stand up in court and I'd say that was flour. Bravo Hotel 38.
Suspecting it's a harmless prank,
This job that we're attached to is a bit of a weird one.
PC Parry updates the control room.
I think it's something to do with the college. It just looks like piles of flour. There's some weird signs they put on the pavement with the flour, but yeah.
It's a circle.
Yeah, it's like a circle with like a line through it, all a bit random. A lot of the time you end up calling your sergeant and being like, Sarge, what is this job we're at? We don't know what we've got to do with it. There was definitely a start line, so yeah, that's probably what it is. Thanks, mate. As if we just been walking around that running club.
It appears the marks were left by a running club.
Well, neither of us do running, do we, Matt? So we wouldn't know that.
No.
No. To get in the odd bizarre job. It is a nice change for your general stuff that you're going to day in, day out. Oh well, nice little stroll down the docks. If you're getting a laugh out of it, you need a laugh in this job to get through.
In the city centre, officers are still trying to diffuse tensions after a fight in a takeaway sparked wider disorder.
In certain situations, sometimes our presence can antagonise people and make it a whole lot worse.
They've made 4 arrests.
But if we can go in, prevent any disorder that we can, arrest anybody for any kind of offences that we see fit there and then, and once we've done that, we then move out. And if we need to go back, we can go back.
I think they're all going to start moving their way, making their way home, but who knows? It's only 5:10.
Start getting people away, best we can.
Don't do that, because it's going all over me.
If I ask you to stop, you do it, don't you? You don't walk off, pal.
Have a hug.
Hi.
Just a.
I don't know what to make of it, to be fair. It's the first for me.
Same.
Next time.
Sometimes we'll pull over a vehicle for something simple like a light being out, and then the unexpected can happen, and it turns into something much bigger.
Stay there now! Do not move! I believe a male's been assaulted. Quite a lot of blood coming from his face.
Dealing with a life and death situation is where the cold, hard reality of this job really hammers home.
Is he still breathing, guys?
I can't tell.
Until you're thrust into the thick of it, you don't know how you're going to react to it.
Mate, move back, please!
We're trying to save him!
There's more Police Night Shift next Monday at 9. It's new Police Interceptors Wednesday at 8. A strip search back at the station reveals a Class A stash. Next tonight, Steve is back in hospital the same day after his stitches gave way. Barnsley's Casualty are on it 24/7 in just a mo.